want to introduce what's considered the hunger timeline. And some of you guys have heard me talk about it. This is sort of where you're looking at how long it's been since you've eaten and revisiting the hunger scale. As a reminder, the hunger scale is 1 to 10. 1 being no hunger, like absolutely nothing. 10 being the most famished and hungry you've ever been. Let's say you've just eaten a meal. Let's say it's less than an hour or just right after eating. You should feel about 80% full. Remember that number, which is about 2 or 3 out of 10 on the hunger scale. You should feel what's considered satisfied but not stuffed. You want to start paying attention to these cues. Now, about an hour after you've eaten, you'll still feel or should feel physically satisfied. You should have no desire to eat a meal, maybe a snack, maybe you'd want to eat, but there's no desire to eat. 2 hours after a meal, you might feel a little hungry. It's like you could eat, but it's not an overwhelming feeling. And I want to pause it right there. I want you to start thinking about and experiencing and understanding the different cues. The only way we'll ever get to intuitive eating is if we start to really get a handle of this sensation, this feeling. So let's say it's between 3 and 4 hours after your last meal. You should be like a 4 to 6 out of 10. Remember, 1 being not hungry at all, 10 being the most hungry you could be. 4 to 6 out of 10. And you may or may not feel that much. Maybe it's less. Maybe it's more. We're learning to follow your body here. If it's a 7 or more on the hunger scale, you could give yourself permission to eat. I think that's important. You start to get a sense of how often you need to eat based on that. So if it's a 7, eat. If not, continue to follow your body cues. You don't have to eat. You don't have to eat because it's just been a certain amount of time. Now let's say it's 4 hours or more. More than likely, you're at a 7 or more out of 10. You might consider yourself quite hungry. And if you're a 7 or more, eat. If not, that's okay too. You're still learning your body cues. Maybe you do not need to eat that often. You need to follow your body. This is the whole purpose of this exercise and understanding both your hunger and the hunger timeline. The most important thing though is that you're prepared. You don't want to be caught off guard where you're a 10 out of 10 in hunger and you're going to eat anything that possibly be in sight. Because if you haven't yet set up your surroundings, your environment for success, you're going to reach for something like the donut in the cafe at work. You're going to reach for that snack that you left in your drawer that was supposed to be for later. You're going to end up having that last pint of ice cream that's in the fridge. You're more than likely to eat something that's quick because you're starving. And for that reason, you're more likely to have something that's not lining up with your goals in terms of higher nutrition. So the goal really, the result is to be more prepared. Have snacks on hand, have meals prepared if possible, so that at the point where you're at 7 or more out of 10 in hunger, you have the thing that lines up with your goal. But the whole purpose of this, and let's maybe consider this an experiment, is to get a really good understanding of the sensations and the signals that your body gives when you're hungry. You're going to continually check in with yourself, rating it out of 1 to 10. And you're going to become a little bit more intuitive with eating and realizing that, once you're done eating, you shouldn't feel 1 or 0. It should be a 2 or 3, meaning there's a little bit of room. You could have probably ate a little bit more. And on the high end, you're eating around a 7, but you don't want to wait till it's like an 8, 9, or 10 where you're more likely to just binge on the first thing you have. So keep in mind the hunger signals, the cues, how hungry you are on a scale of 1 to 10, and the timeline it's been since you've last eaten.